Hello, welcome to CoreTV News on the hour at 4 with me, Sabina Izuku. Nigeria's President-elect Muhammadu Buhari has received his certificate of return from the Independent National Electoral Commission within hours of being declared winner of the March 28 presidential election. He received the certificate from INEC Chairman Muhammadu Buhari at a brief ceremony graced by the leaders of the All Progressive Congress. It also provided another opportunity for Buhari to reaffirm his zero tolerance for corruption and his readiness to take on Boko Haram insurgency. The report.
It's only a few hours after Attahiru Jega, as chief returning officer of the presidential election, declared the APC candidate as Nigeria's new president. Now he's back to hand over the certificate of return to the president-elect, who was accompanied by his deputy.
It is important that we do this for the integrity of our governance process and for deepening democracy in our country. We pledge to all Nigerians that as a commission, we will continue to do our best under all circumstances to ensure free, fair, credible, and peaceful elections. I would like at this point to acknowledge the contributions of a number of stakeholders to the successful conduct of the presidential elections. In particular, we would like to acknowledge the contributions of our permanent staff who have worked tirelessly under very difficult challenges to discharge their jobs credibly. In particular, we would like to express our appreciation to the Director General of the NYSC and the young men and the women on national service who have worked also to ensure the credibility of this exercise.
The INEC chairman presented the certificate to Buhari in the presence of a large crowd of cheering party leaders and supporters. Knowing fully well that while celebrations are still on around the country, the president-elect appealed for restraint. He also insisted that he hopes to govern the country and not to rule.
I assure you that our government is one that will listen to and embrace all. I pledge myself and our incoming administration to just and principled governance. There shall be no bias against or favoritism for any Nigerian based on ethnicity, religion, region, gender, or social status. I pledge myself and the government to the rule of law, in which none shall be so above the law that they are not subject to its dictates, and none shall be so below it that they are not availed of its protection. You shall be able to go to bed knowing that you are safe and that your constitutional rights remain in safe hands.
The president-elect assured Boko Haram of a hard time and maintained that corruption would not be tolerated under his watch. One of the party leaders at the event was the national leader Bola Tinubu, who is still basking in the euphoria of APC's victory.
I'm proud and ready to go. The game changer.
As APC leaders leave the International Conference Center, chances are that they are thinking of the burden of fulfilling the myriads of electoral promises they made. But for now, they are content with enjoying their moment in the sun.
The United States Secretary of State John Kerry has commended Nigerians and the federal government for the generally peaceful March 28 elections. He also praised voters for exhibiting patience and resilience on Election Day in spite of logistic challenges. In a statement issued by the U.S. Department of State, Kerry commended the Independent National Electoral Commission and its chairman, Atahiru Jega, on the use of card readers to increase the credibility and transparency of the electoral process. He added, while the US government noted reports of logistic problems, it was convinced that such incident did not undermine the overall outcome of the elections. Former United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Walter Carrington, has said, with the peaceful transfer of power through the ballot box from one party to another, Nigeria has passed the most important milestone on the road to an enduring democracy. In a congratulatory message issued on Wednesday, Carrington said, while the president-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, has achieved a decisive victory, President Goodluck Jonathan has set the stage for a peaceful transfer of power through his gracious congratulatory call to his successor. Supporters of the president-elect Muhammadu Buhari in Oyo State says Buhari will lead the nation on the path to remarkable change in Nigeria in his first 6 months in office. Omotayalo, who caught up with the jubilant supporters in Ibadan, has more in this report.
It was a celebration like no other as Ibadan residents took to the streets to show the acceptance of the Buhari-led administration in the country. With shouts, dancing of all kinds, and slaughtering of animals in jubilation. It was all a show for the president-elect, whom they fondly refer to as Say Baba. For the leaders in the community, Buhari is the change that Nigerians long waited for to turn the situation of the country around for good.
We're expecting that everybody in Nigeria by 6 months they are going to be happy. Because of the education, number one, security. That would give a problem, and then education and health. Most of the agriculture as a promise. I know Buhari can do it in 6 months time. Nigerian people, they are going to be
all the political, economic, and social institution is weak. That's why we are praying for change, and this change will restore all the institutions.
The man is an experienced man. He has been in military, and he has experience, vast experience, and he can tackle insecurity.
Children were not left out on the fence to celebrate Buhari's victory. Young Aminat Bature was quick to speak of expectations of a Buhari-led administration.
Even got the children like Buhari. Buhari is good. Look at that, killing people like they are not killing human beings. Because of Buhari have come now, no more Boko Haram.
As the backs on the celebration of the presidential election result, party leaders of the All Progressives Congress say they will be having another celebration at the end of the forthcoming governorship election.
Just the way you see us celebrating the victory of General Buhari, if you come here in the next 2 weeks, that's how we'll be celebrating the victory of my governor, inshallah.
We ask all the people of Oyo State, irrespective of ethnicity, they should vote for Abiola, Isiaka Abiola, Ajumobi as a governor.
As the love for Buhari cuts across different ethnic background, religious and age, time will be the judge whether Nigerians have made the right decision. Omotayalo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
The aftermath of the presidential and National Assembly elections recently conducted in Oyo State have been greeted with mixed reactions from residents who have continually made their stand known in the state. In reaction to a protest staged by members of some political groups who accuse the electoral body of malpractice during the elections, the President-elect Commissioner Rufus Akeju advised those dissatisfied with the results of the elections to assemble their facts and direct their claims to the Election Petition Tribunal. Once again, Omotayalo has more.
These residents have demonstrated through a protest their dissatisfaction to the outcome of the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections, which they described as a plot against all the political parties and an untrue representation of the people's mandates.
They frustrate us on INEC. They frustrate us on their polling booths. They frustrate us. They frustrate our stand. They frustrate democracy for us. They frustrate democracy. We win all the elections. This is nonsense.
I brought my people to polling units, about 2,000 people. When they be collecting the vote, we read it at the police center, it correct. After going to the local government, everything is scattered. So that is why we protest. And we don't want him, and they should not take away Jonathan voters, they should return the vote to Jonathan back.
In response to the group's allegation, the resident electoral commissioner, Rufus Akeju, says a generalized condemnation and rejection of the election is a disservice to the electoral system and an insult to the electorate who sacrificed against all odds to participate in the election.
If there is any foul play anywhere, they ought to have raised it at that juncture. They need not sign a result they did not agree with. They are not novice in this business. So let us stop this rascality of just raising hell for nothing. We have grown up, we have come this far in this business, and it's never going to be business as usual again.
In a related development, Akeju advised political parties to engage in more voters' education with their supporters ahead of the governorship and House of Assembly poll in order to avoid the error of recording so many rejected votes, which are called as a result of inadequate sensitization.
A total of 47,254 votes were rejected. A casual examination or investigation of rejected ballot revealed that quite a large number of the voided papers arose from voting for parties that did not field candidates for the presidential election.
The electoral body also pleaded with residents to conduct themselves in the peaceful manner they demonstrated at the first election, while promising to improve on its services to the electorate by working on the issues that we earlier encountered at the poll. Omotayualo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Still in the spirit of triumph, the Indibo leaders meet with Akinwumi Ambode, the APC governorship election, to congratulate the party on their victory. There's more on this and other stories after the break. Do stay with us.
How are you, Mr. President? How are you, Mr. President? How is the campaign?
We must learn to live together as brothers, or perish together as fools. Martin Luther King, Jr.
Welcome back to the news. For more information, you can reach us on our social media platform, and that's on facebook.com/CoreTV News, and on our Twitter handle @CoreTV News NG. For news updates and other programs, you can stream us live on youtube.com/CoreTV, Live Space, and the news. Still in the spirit of triumph, Indibo leaders in Lagos have met with Akinwumi Ambode, Lagos APC governorship candidate, and some other APC stalwarts to congratulate the party on the victory at the just concluded presidential polls. The Indibo leaders also implored Ambode to be rest assured, promising he will get the votes of the Igbos in Lagos and come 11th of April.
We have also sensitized our people to vote massively for APC during this gubernatorial election that is coming up on the 11th of April. Igbo leaders you can see here, Igbo of Lagos is here, many of us are here to come and have a meeting that will enable everybody to go back to his respective position location, market leaders are equally here to continue to sensitize their people to continue to vote in mass for APC in Lagos State.
With the outcome of the result on Saturday is attestation of the fact that the much needed APC that this country needs has been given. Hence, on Saturday, 11th of this month, the Ndi Igbo in Lagos, what you see here today are Igbo leaders, market leaders. We shall convince our people, talk to our people, so that they will not go and repeat what they did on Saturday. On Saturday, most of Igbo people did sympathy vote to Jonathan. You understand me? That has come and gone. We're talking about Lagos, and we're talking about somebody that will, follow up to the bar that Fashola has.
The police authorities have confirmed the death of former Inspector General of Police Muhammadu Yusuf, former police helmsman, who was popularly known as MD Yusuf, who died on the 1st of April after a brief illness. Muhammadu Yusuf was Nigeria's third indigenous Inspector General of Police between 1975 and 1979. And a statement issued by the police indicates that the late IG was seconded into the Nigerian Police Force as an Assistant Commissioner of Police in 1962 and later became Inspector General of Police on Wednesday, July 30th, 1975. He was the chairman of the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited in 1994. He was also the chairman of the Central Working Committee of Social Cultural Group Arawa Consultative Forum, ACF, in 2001. The late IG twice attempted to become president, first as presidential candidate of a grassroots democratic movement and later on the platform of Movement for Democracy and Justice. The National Peace Committee has commended the police for exhibiting professionalism in the course of ensuring security during and after the just concluded March 28th presidential election nationwide. The committee, led by the former head of state Abdul Salami Abubakar, stated this when its members paid a courtesy call on Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba at the force headquarters, Abuja. He explained the visit had become necessary because the police's role in ensuring the overall success of Abuja Peace Accord. Lending credence to the former head of state's remarks was John Cardinal Oyanyenko, a member of the committee, who equally appreciated the noble role played by the police during the elections. In his response, IG Suleiman Abba described the visit as highly motivational and promised to make it a subject of lecture across the police formation ahead of the April 11th election. The police authority in Abuja have warned residents to be moderate in celebrating the outcome of Saturday's presidential election. This, according to the FCT Commissioner of Police Wilson Inalegu, is to ensure that there is no breakdown of law and order in Abuja City and its environs. Inalegu, who congratulated Nigerians on the peaceful conduct of the presidential and National Assembly elections, said there was the need to sustain the orderly manner in which people turn out to exercise their franchise. Command spokesman Andrew Guri Manza quotes the Commissioner of Police as saying that his men are well prepared to deal with anybody or group of persons planning to cause a breach of peace in the FCT. The Resident Electric Commissioner for Plateau State, Mr. Godwin Kwanga, has commended the various security agencies in Plateau State for a successful election devoid of the usual security breaches that the state is known for in the recent times. Kwanga gave this commendation on the elections as regards Plateau State, adding that his staff put up a stellar performance by adhering strictly to the code and conducts of the electoral acts. According to him, the ad hoc staff got the needed training for them to do their duties, and it clearly shows because there were no complaints from any quarters. The report.
Godwin Kwanga, that was recently moved from the Federal Capital Territory to head the Plateau INEC office, gave a word of commendation to the police and other security personnel that assisted during the presidential and National Assembly polls in the state.
I owe the success of this election to the security agencies, my staff, and the general public who have conducted themselves very well during the exercise.
The REC added that although the fair elections were achieved, he however pointed out that salient areas that the Commission needs to work on to meet up to international standards are seen in more developed climes of the world, particularly the issues of logistics, where the ad hoc workers were left stranded at their polling units when they finished very late into the night at various places in Jos.
What INEC is doing is not foolproof. There can be improvements in all areas, depending on the need for such improvements. So in all the areas, there can be improvements, like in the area of logistics, yes, the area of commencement of accreditation, the area of collation of results and retrieval of materials, and so on. Whatever aspect of the elections that can be improved should be.
Kwangwa took her time to call on the politicians to remember that there can only be one winner at a time and should therefore avoid violence because there are other opportunities for them to recontest for the same position.
To advise the Nigerian politicians to be calm, to take politics not as a do or die thing. When they contest election, they should know that there will always be a winner. And that winner, if there is one position, it will always go to one person. And that if they lose, they should exercise patience and hope that next time they are interested in the contest again. And if they do like that, the polity will be very sanitized and devoid of violence and crisis.
Thank you so very much, sir. Plateau State only witnessed one case of protest at Jos North local government area during the just concluded elections.
Welcome back. And outside Nigeria, masked gunmen have stormed a university near the Somali border in northeastern Kenya, killing at least 2 people and injuring about 30. It is a report that says that 65 others were wounded when gunmen stormed the campus in Garissa. The number of hostages is unclear, saying that more than 500 students are accounted for. Al-Shabaab, which is linked to Al-Qaeda, said it was holding Christians hostage and free Muslims and hostages from the 2 groups had been separated, while 15 of the Muslims had already been released. According to reports, Garissa College University students said when gunmen entered his hostel, he could hear them opening doors and asking if the people who had hidden inside were Muslims or Christians, and afterwards some security officers entered through a window and took him and some other students to safety. Kenya's Interior Minister, Joseph Inkayasiri, stated that one of the militants had been killed as he tried to flee, but out of 815 students, 535 had not yet been accounted for because it is not clear how many students were on the premises at the time of the attack. And that's it on CoreTV News on the hour. Do join us at the top of the hour for Global News. I am Sabana Izoku, and thank you very much indeed for watching.